Get ready to quit the build.
Here we go.
The QTB crew is rounding up all the gaming news and hot topics of the week with a little extra something. And here are your hosts, Bruno and Nick.
All right, we're back, and believe it or not, we're actually doing a stream tonight. Which at the last minute there, you probably thought, are they going to do it? Are they?
Will they or won't they?
Will
are they going to show up?
And we're here, of course, because we always record the night before. So if for some reason we're ever late, don't you worry, we'll be here. But we're just getting things situated.
That's how we do it.
Trying to figure out why I don't have central air, which is why there's a portable AC right there, which thank God for that. And that big fan. It's that big fan. And there's a fan behind me. All my biggest fans are here.
Oh, your biggest.
All my fans are here, and I love it. So
wow. You've done it. You've done it.
I've done it. I'm here.
The real highlight is that sweet headband.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. It just it helps with the sweat. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay.
What do you got for me?
I'm almost ready to start. What about you?
I need that sweet nickname.
Oh yeah, let's do. I need that sweet nickname. Let me do that. Well, last time you were a former alias Devin DiNardo. This time you are gonna be Victor Shevitz Panini.
Oh man, I love it.
I don't even know why.
Victor Shevitz.
Victor Shevitz Panini.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Oh, I misread that.
Oh yeah.
It's not Victor Shevitz Panini. It's Victor Shevitz Pananini. I'm sorry. And there's actually Pananini. Pananini.
Okay.
It's like if you don't know how to pronounce panini, that's how you'd say, give me that pananini on the thing there. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to,
Yeah. I got it.
What's that place called?
Victor Shevitz
Soup
Panini?
Plantation? No.
Soup Plantation?
What's that one place called?
Which, I don't know.
That place that people pretend is healthy eating, and it sounds like pananini.
Oh, Panera.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, Panera. That's
it's
the
true.
one.
Everyone feels like they're. Oh,
I'm eating.
I gotta
healthy.
go. I gotta go pick up my order.
I'm so healthy right now.
Yeah. Everyone just gets a bowl of macaroni. I know I do.
Everyone gets a what is it? The cheddar broccoli soup in a bread bowl, and they're like, "This is healthy. This is healthy because there's broccoli in it. It's covered in cheese, and you're eating it out of bread."
Yeah. Yep.
Listen, I'm not a beacon of health here, but I'm not fooling myself either. It's like Family Guy, fat guys. They think fish and chips are healthy. It's like, what? Okay. Let me do a quick audio test here. And then we'll get this show on the road. Preferences. We got that. Let's do it. What did it say? Test 1, 2, testing. This is what my mic sounds like.
Peaks and valleys talking words.
Talking words.
I did it. Yep. All right.
Okay, can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay, good.
Oh, buddy, 9 pages of show notes today. I tell you what.
You are in for a treat.
Yep.
How is that? Let me do this test one real quick again. Yeah, still at -40. A little background noise, but that's not bad. Little background noise is worth the not dying on
not dying.
Yeah. He's passed out, ladies and gentlemen.
He's watching Cops.
He's That's why I'm so sweaty.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Peeling or what are you doing? Jumping jacks in the attic? No, it's peeled an orange about an hour ago. Why?
That's how you do it.
Okay. Let's get this show on the road. We're good there. We're good there. We're good there. Got the show notes up and we are recording.
All right,
Okay.
local recording is live on my end. Oh, by the way, I didn't realize this until I went on someone else's podcast, which is airing tomorrow morning. Nerd Stash?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do like a sync thing, and I'm like, why aren't we doing a sync thing? It would make my job so much easier. So they just go 1, 2, 3 sync, and that's not any fun.
Oh.
So I think I'm gonna do the product placement with Taco Bell song, and then you can join me on Nacho Burrito. Okay.
Gotcha.
Here we go. Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Enchilito, nacho burrito. Nice. Okay.
Love it.
Very good. This will make it so much easier.
This is gonna be the best show start ever. That gets me so jazzed. It really does. I don't know why more teams don't do that. Like, there's all this like 1, 2, 3 win stuff. No, forget that. We don't need that.
No.
We need Taco Bell.
Yeah. That's it. The jingle about product placement.
Oh, geez. The jingle about product placement. All right.
I am good to go.
What I do? Welcome to the QTB podcast. We're so glad you could join us. My name is Bruno, and with me, as always, is my childhood friend and co-host Nick Victor-Shevitz Pananini.
Wow, that's like if you were like a tourist in New York and you're like, oh, where are we gonna go to lunch? And like you're looking it up on Google and like, oh, let's go over to Victor-Shevitz Pananini.
Yeah,
they have good sandwiches.
They got
5 stars.
mad corned beef skills over there. I don't know what it is, and the bagels are to die for. But Victor-Shevitz Pananini is what's up.
Yeah.
So really, the Pananini comes from the fact that there's this guy I know who I'm just not gonna say his name, but he can't say panini. So
Okay.
I always just imagine like what if he can't say panini, because that's what my wife told me. Wife's like, he can't say panini, and I'm like, what do you mean he can't say panini? And she's like, I don't know, he just can't say it. I'm like, what is he saying, pananini or something? Like, what?
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'll take the pananini right there next to the, just making up items on the Dane Cook style. Like,
Yeah.
that's why they put numbers on there
hard.
so everyone knows.
Yeah. And speaking of numbers, Bruno, happy episode 30.
Whoa, we did
That's
it.
this
Could
one
you
right
believe
here.
it?
Yeah.
Man, it has come and gone so quickly.
Time flies.
We're
but,
going to be 150 before you know it.
Yeah, I mean, you blink and all of a sudden you're there. But I mean, I guess the reason why it's going so fast is we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
Kind of being out here giving all the news. Been doing a lot of interviews with other podcasts that we'll be announcing on Twitter, and also some game interviews. One of which we have coming up later today. Speaking of which, might as well get into what today's news stories are going to be. A little bit later, Bruno, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. I got to tell you, Bruno, I might have to go back and check. I think this might be the first episode ever where there isn't Xbox on the news docket.
Oh,
I can't believe it.
I don't know how I'm going to make it through. I don't know how I'm going to make it through. We're going to have to try and keep me awake. I mean,
we wait for the last second to record. We're looking furiously for any kind of news. Try to balance it out, but it's 2 Nintendo stories and 1 PlayStation story.
Yep,
So,
and I looked through Xbox's Twitter feed, and all they posted was a video and a couple GIFs today. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that is not newsworthy. We can't get there with that. Okay.
Can't get there. Can't do a frame by frame with a GIF. No, but so we'll be talking about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase because there was a lot of exciting things in this indie world. I'd say more so than a lot of them, a lot of treats on the way.
Yeah.
And also a little bit later, we'll be talking about how the PS5 news broke that it is now the fastest selling console in U.S. history. We'll break down the metrics and how it got there. And that should be an interesting conversation as well. And coming up in the bonus round, we've got an interview with a guy that calls himself Loxxulus. He made the game ChessLocke. It's a really cool name. And I did ask him that question in the interview of like, you got to tell me more about this name, because when you have 2 X's back to back in your name, you're probably a hardcore dude. So
you mean business.
we talked about his solo game that he created called ChessLocke, which is a very fun, unique twist on the classic game of chess. But first, Bruno, today's big story, and this is a big one. Mario Kart 8, the news has broken that it is now the best-selling racing game in U.S. history. Compliments
that,
of IGN. yeah, F1 had no shot, right? No shot. It's fun and all, but like, that's you're going into niche territory, and that's kind of where it breaks down, right, Bruno? Is that you have a lot of these racing games over the years that, some are more mainstream than others, but as far as a racing game goes, nothing is going to beat that family friendly and pick it up and play party approach that Mario Kart really has mastered.
Yeah.
Now, they do have a little bit of an advantage with this statistic that broke, because this is including both the Wii U original and Nintendo Switch's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, both versions of that game, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was literally just all the DLC slapped onto, into one package.
We see you.
It's just, I mean, they knew, we still gave them $60. I know I did, so them's the breaks. But I mean, this really isn't shocking news in any capacity, right?
No, I mean, when you talk about if pretty much anyone talks about any racing video game, I think the first thing that comes to everyone's mind is Mario Kart. And I was actually watching Ridiculousness the other day, because that's what I do. First of all, there's like 12 seasons of it, and they do like an episode every day. So, with like 500 some plus episodes now, you're going to see an episode of Ridiculousness, right? But they had a race car driver, and there was actually an IndyCar driver, and he said, I think about 33% of the population thinks that they could probably drive a race car because they're good at Mario Kart. And Chanel West Coast was like, I actually thought of that. Like right before you said this, I was thinking, I'm really good at Mario Kart. And I don't think there's a blue shell button in any F1 car or any banana peel slipping. So
I don't know, man. One of the things that shocked me about getting into F1 racing was learning about how complicated the steering wheel is. Like I always knew it had like a battery, like electric based system that had a lot of cool things going on in the car. But you actually look at the steering wheel on an F1 car, and if you haven't seen this, to our listeners, Google it, because it's crazy. Yeah. There is a button for everything. I mean, this thing looks like the with that Mech Warrior controller back in the day, but just in steering wheel form. And what cracked me up was there was like a button for like a water dispenser, because the drivers have, I guess, the tube going into their mouths. So like if you need some water, you just press the give me a quick squirt there.
Yep. Just stay hydrated out there. Nick, if you were to guess, how much does that steering wheel cost? What would you say? If you're gonna put a price tag on that, how much do you think it costs?
I mean, obviously, since you're saying how much it's going to be something dumb. So because of the niche nature of it, right? I'm gonna go $80,000.
You are dang close. About $70,000. Yep,
wow.
About $70,000, which is why that's the first thing they usually grab when they get out of the car if they've had a wreck. And it's super like crazy to see them throw a steering wheel if they've gotten mad, because like you said, this steering wheel costs more than most people's normal car, right? We didn't pay $10,000 for the Prius. I mean,
no. Yoshi paid $80,000 for his Mercedes Benz that he drives in Mario Kart, but
there you go. Yeah. I mean,
I think that, right, Mario Kart has that mass appeal where when anybody thinks like, name a racing game, if it were Family Feud, obviously Mario Kart would be up there. You do have the other big franchises, right? Need for Speed games and like Gran Turismo, but oftentimes like Gran Turismo, that is relegated to one console. I mean, so is Mario Kart, to be fair, but I mean, it's a timeless game where it's a must-have if you own a Switch, or if you owned a Wii or an N64. Every generation, right, had its own Mario Kart game. Yeah. Then there's a very good chance that you had purchased that game. And this isn't surprising news at all to me, but it was kind of an interesting statistic, because we learned a lot more about the games that it passed and the games that it has yet to pass. So it beat out Mario Kart Wii. That was the previous highest selling racing game of all time. So it was already, purely Nintendo country.
Wow.
That was released all the way back in 2008. That was one of the few Mario Kart games that I did not play. I remember playing some Double Dash and not liking it all that much for the GameCube. And then the Wii version, I've heard good things about it, but I've not played it. What's your extent of your travels with Mario Kart?
So I obviously, got started where most our generation got started, which was the N64 version. Although there was wasn't there one that came out for the SNES? And, so that's awesome. But I didn't play that one. I only played the N64 version. And then as time has gone on, I didn't get the GameCube, but I did get Nintendo 3DS, and I have Mario Kart 7 on there, and I have a Wii, so I do have Mario Kart 8. I don't have the Switch yet, so I don't have the deluxe version, but I think Mario's so classic that it really is it's almost synonymous with racing nowadays, at least in terms of arcade racers. And the thing that really gets me are the actual Mario Kart arcade racing cabinets. Have you seen those?
Now, are you talking about the VR ones or the ones you see in a Dave and Buster's?
It's the one you see in a Dave and Buster's. It's it's the DX, Mario Kart DX or something like that, or AX. They are so much fun. I really, really like that. And so if I could have one big cabinet in my house, I think it would probably be a dual setup Mario Kart arcade racing thing, because it's so much fun, and I want to see more of that. I want to see more of arcade games coming back and making a comeback from stuff that we already know. They're doing it with Halo. They've done it with, and like I said, we kind of fall into this space where unfortunately arcades are dying here, and they're trying to stay afloat in places like Japan where they are everywhere. They're everywhere. And so I hope we start seeing more cross generation platform. I don't know what you want to really call it, but just bring the arcade games into the console sphere and bring console games into an arcade world. That would be amazing to me, because Nick, I got news for you. Some of my favorite games in the history of video games are arcade games, like Time Crisis. I'm all about Time Crisis. So, when you think of certain games like Mario Kart that are synonymous with racing, that travels over to everything. If you're going to an arcade and you're like, I want to play an arcade fighter game, most people are like, yeah, I'm into Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, whatever it may be. So, it's just a matter of time before we see more crossovers like this. And if you're Nintendo, you're just gonna keep making Mario Kart, right?
Well,
we're gonna see Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch Pro. It's just gonna be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Pro.
Super Deluxe. Yeah, super Deluxe Pro. You're bringing up this Mario Kart DX arcade machine, Bruno. I have to share this story. So once my wife and I had bought a package deal on 2 of those play all day cards, where you could go into a Dave and Buster's and play anything that doesn't give you tickets for that entire day. And so we went through and we played Luigi's Mansion from start to finish. That was really fun. And we just hopped from game to game, and eventually we landed on the Mario Kart DX machine, and there was 4 of these things linked up. Okay. And of course we're going to sit down and play. Now, I normally play Mario Kart at 200 cc's. I like it totally maxed out, high drifting, but that's just because I've gotten, good at the game over the years.
Right.
And when you play this thing, I think it forces you into 50 cc's, and we're playing it, and this kid gets in the seat next to us, right? Little Timmy sits in seat number 2.
Geez.
And this kid is already trash talking, I'm the bomb at Mario Kart. I'm gonna win this thing. This kid is disrespecting us, and we're just kind of okay, kids will be kids. We're already having that problem. We're playing Luigi's Mansion in the little cabinet, and kids are constantly banging on the walls, and we're like, what are we doing here? And so
you realize you're at Chuck E. Cheese and not in a Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. And so we're having a great race. Like I'm in like first place, my wife is in second place. This kid's like falling behind, and of course the kid gets the blue shell and manages to win the race at the last second. And I'm not kidding. Like he leans over towards our carts, our seats, and is like, "Yeah, take that. I'm the best. I told you I was gonna win. You can't beat me at Mario Kart." And we're just staring forward at our screens in complete like awestruck shame at like, what do we do? There's no right answer here. We can't like, you can't clap back at like a 7-year-old.
Well, your mother never loved you, so get out of here, Timmy.
Yeah, right. But everyone's got their favorite kart racing games. I know Terry's a big fan of the M&M's kart racing for the Wii. That was a popular title.
Wow.
But yeah, there was even that Rugrats racing game. Yeah, you can name any franchise, and like they probably had some attempt at like a kart racing game over the years. Crash Bandicoot has had a kart racing game.
Yeah, that's true.
The list with Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog has had multiple games. Well, but which I'm actually quite a fan of them. The most recent entry, and besides that, it's very interesting to see these kind of numbers. And I'm looking at the chart for the top selling games of all time, like in terms of where Mario Kart 8 now sits.
Yeah.
So Mario Kart Wii sold 79 million units, which doesn't quite reach Wii Sports, which sold 82.9 million units as of September 30th, 2020. Wow. Apparently it's still selling copies to this day. And that game sits, Wii Sports, this is a fun fact, sits in 4th place at the list of best-selling video games of all time, behind Grand Theft Auto 5, Minecraft, and the greatest selling video game of all time, the original Tetris.
Of course. Yeah, we all had that, right? Yeah. Except for, was it you that told me the music scared you? The Tetris music scared you, and so you didn't play it as a kid?
Yeah, so it was when when you would get a Tetris in Nintendo, the original game.
Is that what it's called?
Like
really? Is that?
Yeah, when you clear 4 lines in Tetris, it's called a Tetris.
Oh, I didn't know that. Nice. Man, I'm learning something new every day. Like, I mean, it makes sense, but I never put 2 and 2 together. I thought they were just like, hey, we're just gonna call our game Tetris, like we're gonna call our game Dead Space, or we're gonna call it Overwatch. Like,
yeah, but no, you're right. But yeah, that's why they call it that, I guess, because that's like the terminology.
They don't say like you got an Overwatch when you got to win in Overwatch. Good job on that Overwatch, guys. Good job.
Got an Overwatch.
We overwatched them, didn't we?
Instead of a killing an air in Halo, it's just a Halo.
It's just a Halo. You Tetris the heck out of that.
I got a Halo. But
I'm just gonna start using Tetris as a verb now. Like anything, something fits perfectly, we're gonna Tetris this. Like,
Tetris the heck out of this. But yeah, in that game, it would when you would get the Tetris, the screen would like flash brightly, almost like a potentially seizure-inducing flash, and I wasn't ready for it as a kid.
That's why I
was out the door. I said, nope, I don't. If that's what it takes to be good at this game, I don't want to be good at Tetris.
And then that's why they put the little disclaimer on the front there that if you are susceptible to flashing light seizures, or you're not ready for jump scares, or the Tetris, then by all means, just brace yourselves. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, are you supposed to reevaluate playing the game? Like, if you come across that and you're like, well, how bad is it? Are we talking like Porygon Pokemon level where they had to pull the whole episode because there were 15 hospitalized kids in Japan, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, I got pulled. Yeah, that was the forbidden episode of Pokemon.
There's so much lore behind like crazy things in Have you heard about the Lavender Town music that's supposed to drive you crazy? It is pretty off-putting.
Well, there is that unofficial mod. It was more of just like a creepypasta of Pokemon Creepy Black, of the person that found the haunted cartridge of the Game Boy Pokemon game.
Yeah.
And they and then the Lavender Town theme is like constantly playing throughout it, and your Pokemon die, and it gets really, really weird.
It is. But it's just like the start of a scary movie. Cedar Hills was a quiet community until Timmy found an old Pokemon Black cartridge in his closet. Mom, what's this?
This summer, Rob Schneider is.
He's just gonna be in everything. We're just gonna cast him for all kid parts.
That's one of my favorite movie running gags of all time is just Rob Schneider and
Rob
things.
Schneider. Schneider. And South Park do that. They're just like, Rob Schneider's in.
Yeah. Oh my god. But so that is where we're at with Mario Kart 8. So I mean, congratulations to the franchise. They just continue to dominate with what they're doing there with Mario Kart. It's fun to see. I remember when or not remember when, but this was actually a recent story, Bruno. They were talking about how, F-Zero, right, the series, like what happened to it. It's been a very long time, way over a decade since we've had an F-Zero game. And one of the guys actually that recently, an ex-Nintendo designer, his name is Takaya Imamura. He was the lead artist on the original F-Zero, and he actually kind of gave an unofficial interview and said, like, look, F-Zero isn't dead. It just needs a new idea in order to bring it into the 21st century. And it's like, honestly, if you sit and look at the numbers behind Mario Kart, do you really want to create a racing game that competes with that? Like,
maybe
the way I look at it is, maybe Nintendo does what Nintendo wants to do,
right?
But F-Zero actually had tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. One of the DLC packs, they put in Mute City and Big Blue, two of those two tracks there. And they were part of the deluxe package, and you get that same fast-paced gameplay. The only other thing that F-Zero really did that Mario Kart doesn't do is you can like run into racers and like literally take them out, like Burnout style.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Besides that, you're kind of getting the high speeds of F-Zero when you're playing on higher speeds in Mario Kart. So I can kind of understand why that franchise has kind of fallen by the wayside. It's not a surprise to me.
I want to see an F-Zero F1 crossover and call it F half F.5. F.5, like.
Yeah. Captain Falcon has has the little water tube going in his mouth. He's like, Falcon sip.
Falcon sip, let's go. So I miss those like hyper futuristic racers. Like what was that other one? It was like San Francisco 2049 or something. What was it called?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. That was like an arcade game.
It was like it was on and there was also one that was on that came out for N64 too. And it might have been another F-Zero iteration, to be honest with you. But I think there's space for something like an F-Zero game. But you're right, you kind of have to bring it into the modern day. And I think that games nowadays are infinitely faster than they were 20 years ago. Like, take a look at like any Call of Duty game or any shooter nowadays, right? And to just compare it to like the king of shooters back then, Halo is so slow now. Like, I get on and play the Master Chief Collection sometimes, and it's like painfully slow. It's like, what is the gravity set on this guy? Like, I am just floating through the air. No wonder people are taking me down super easy, because like, if you play something that's like super quick, like Doom Eternal, and then turn around and play something like Halo, it feels like you're playing in slow motion or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, speed matters, and you're right. Like, after coming off of a Doom session, like so many other games feel just like sluggishly slow. You have to kind of adapt, but I think that there is a way to find a path forward for F-Zero. I just know a lot of people really love that franchise, and it's a bummer to them because it seems like Mario Kart's kind of stealing the Nintendo racing spotlight as of right now. But again, with those numbers, it's hard to argue with it. But well, Bruno, don't forget, we do have a fantastic merch giveaway from our friends at Pierce Unlimited through the Pierce Unlimited Pop Art Vault. If you leave us a review on iTunes, then at the beginning of each month, the first episode, you will have a chance to win a sweet prize package. We will be posting the this month's prize package soon on Twitter, so be on the lookout for that. And again, if you don't win that drawing, then just make sure to keep tuning in at the first episode. And eventually, you gotta get there at some point, right? Because we're gonna do this until we're dead. So
until we're dead, from now until forever, we will be sponsored in part by Pierce Unlimited. Hey, how about that? For marketing media that works and bespoke design to power your business, visit pierceunlimited.com.
Nicely done there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, way to turn a morbid thing into a sponsor.
Hey, well, it's not morbid if you if you love what you're doing, right?
That's right.
That's what they say.
Well, I'll tell you who definitely loves what they're doing, Bruno, and that is indie game developers. We love featuring them here on the show. And of course, Nintendo's Indie World Showcase is such a great place for them to show their stuff because Nintendo, as we've said many times, is such a indie-friendly console, making it very easy for them to get their games on the platform. And so we had our Indie World Showcase just last Wednesday. And quite the lineup, I got to tell you. There is a lot of interesting games, new games that we weren't expecting. Also, we got some more kind of gameplay footage from games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
That's all I care about.
That's all that most people care about. Based on our poll, we'll get into that part though. But some of the highlights from the Indie World Showcase, we'll just kind of go down the list. Compliments of Destructoid. Road 96, this is a roguelite that's based on a road trip that got revealed last year, and it's looking pretty rad. It's according to that's their words, not mine. But it does look interesting. It's like a game about like you're just trying to get from like point A to point B, and you can like hitchhike, and it's almost like the Oregon Trail, but like Route 66 edition. Yeah. So that should be kind of an interesting game. Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals, of course, the sequel to the original Oxenfree.
Isn't it funny that we've got Ollie on here and Oxenfree? Right,
I'm so glad you noticed.
Yeah, I was going to say, what the heck is that about? We've got that and Get Your Kicks on Road 96, so...
I have to wonder, like, I know I saw someone else on Twitter make that same observation of like... They have to get in touch now, right? They have to have some kind of crossover or do like one of those like Doom X Animal Crossing like crossover jokes with like Isabelle and Doom Guy because the games came out at the same time. It's like you gotta reach across the aisle now and have an Easter egg.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but
Speaking
so this is a game.
Ollie, well, yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm like second most excited for. Like, I like this 2D style, of games, and having something like an open world version of that seems a lot more interesting than, just the painstaking platformer that it was before. But, sorry, I didn't mean to step over your Oxenfree. You were saying the first Oxenfree was one of the biggest surprises of the year in 2016. Why was that? Why was this such a big...
It was just a really good, eerie storytelling game. One of those kind of unsettling, like what's going to happen next. It didn't necessarily go for the jump scares, but it had that kind of haunting overtone to it, like Little Nightmares, where it's like, what's going to happen next?
Ooh, yeah.
So that was a very successful game in 2016. So no surprise that they were able to create that sequel. And yeah, of course, the former part of Oxenfree, which is Ali World. So that is originally a 2D skating franchise. Very fun little indie game. They have turned it into a 2.5D world. Which is a very popular thing to do right now. And it's going to have, branching paths, all sorts of interesting characters. And it's one of those games where, I love skating games. Obviously, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a core part of both you and myself, our repertoire of extreme gaming, if you will.
Yeah.
But, it is always fun to see other people's takes on a skateboarder. So this is going to be one that it's got that fun, cutesy art style. So we will definitely be checking that out. Now, Bruno, here's one game, and every now and then, people come up with some absurd ideas for a video game. I've seen games before, like Waiting Simulator, where you have to like wait in line and like punch yourself in the face to keep yourself awake. Which is funny.
And this kind of as per usual, right?
Yeah. And there are a lot of games that try to like subvert expectations and have you wait for an unusually long amount of time just to see if you'll actually do it.
Yeah.
Well, this game is called The Longing, and it's a game about you're like the last servant for like this king that has like these great powers, but he goes into a slumber, and you're like waiting for him to wake up in this like tomb, and you have to wait 400 days for him to wake back up. And so
these 400 real days?
But you can. So the game will allow you to wait it out, like as you're walking through this tomb, and it's like a tomb, like you can't get out. There's like little things you can do, like read or like research or try to explore the tomb further, and like you can see the 400-day timer at the top ticking down. Now they said there are ways that you can speed up time, but there is a different ending that you will get if you actually wait out 400 days.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
obviously this will be really interesting because we'll all have to mark our calendars, right, from the release date of this game, 400 plus days, and be like, now we can finally see. That's what everyone's going to forget about it. And then 400 days after the release, IGN's going to post an article and be like, do you remember that game, The Longing? Well, we can finally see what the real ending is like. Either that or data miners come to the rescue. This is your time.
This is going to be one game people are going to be hacking the save file there to get the true ending, because that is
right?
that is a level of commitment that I will never give to a video game. I do like games like that. I don't know, but like there's games. One game that was really strange was that game for the Dreamcast, and this is a deep cut, but you'll recognize the name. Well, not the name of the game, but the voice actor. It's called Seaman, which is about a game. Yeah, it's not what you think it is. It's a game about a fish raising simulator. It's like a fish tank.
Okay.
And like it's this fish with a human face. It's super creepy, and it's voiced by Leonard Nimoy. I wish I was kidding.
Wow.
And like the whole like goal of the game was, there was no goal. Like you had to raise this fish, but like all you had to do was turn on your Dreamcast and then like raise the temperature of the water and like sprinkle in some fish food and then like leave, like turn your game off. Like you couldn't progress the game. Like you had to come back like the next. It was almost like a Tamagotchi, but like spread out over like like a month. And then once the fish would hatch, Leonard Nimoy would voice him, and he would ask you like really personal questions, and he would like remember the answers. There was a microphone.
Ooh,
it's a really creepy game.
That's weird. That sounds like he's gonna. It sounds like we're getting into like tell me your social security number, Becky.
It's not that far off if you look up gameplay videos. Like it's
Buck's trying to get me to give him personal information. This is way before anybody could this was like, I would say before identity theft, right? When is the first? Yeah. Well, I mean, widespread identity theft. I mean, people have always tried to steal other people's identities, but it just seems really creepy that something like this would exist in a video game. That's what I'm telling you. The 90s and the early 2000s was just, it was a wild west of time where no one really understood what was acceptable in the world for kids and for people to play. And that's why we got things like Leisure Suit Larry and all those like crazy Dead or Alive nude mods and stuff like that.
Just Dead or Alive in general is
yeah, it really
like
was.
You're clearly not here for volleyball, but oh my gosh, that's
I don't know what you're talking about, Nick. I am a fan of Scott Sterling, the human wall that is Scott Sterling's face. Listen,
if you haven't seen those videos, like stop what you're doing, stop this podcast and go watch the Scott Sterling video of him playing a goalie.
Yeah, just type in. He does one with volleyball too. So there's a volleyball version and a soccer version. But I got to tell you, if there's ever an apocalypse, I hope that we're in a bunker made of that man's face, because that is our only saving grace.
Oh my gosh. But so that's one of the probably the more eclectic games that's going to be on offer there, The Longing. If you're into waiting, then that is available actually, I believe, right now. But yeah, obviously, TMNT, we didn't get a whole lot of new gameplay footage, but of course it was on display there just to remind us that it's happening and we're going to spend money on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did show you like they did show you the supers, right? Yeah. So that was kind of the subtle thing that they showed this time, which was like each turtle has their own super move, I guess, that is special, and then they glow in their own particular color. So that was cool. It definitely seems like they're trying to take the the best of all of the arcade TMNT games and just mash them into one, which I appreciate, because that's what I want. Like, I want the best of the best for all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's obviously the game that everybody wants to see, according to our poll. We'll get to that in a minute, but
yeah, we will. But okay, so this is one game that I am really excited to play because I've seen a lot of people do like YouTube Let's Plays of it. It's called There Is No Game.
We're just getting super meta right now. The Longing, There Is No Game, Just Give Me Your Money. I mean,
so this game has an interesting history. So it's based on a like 10 to 15 minute short game that was created by a French developer. I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but Pascal Camisoto. That it actually won a Newgrounds competition because the theme was deception, and the whole idea was like it was just a screen that's like there's no game, and like you try and like click on like letters, and there's like a guy that's like, no, stop, there's no game, don't do that, and like over the course of the game, because it is a game, you would have to figure out like how to advance the game while this guy is trying to convince you that there is no game. Well, it got basically adapted into a full title because of the popularity of that game jam. And it just keeps going, and they're like going through it. It's one of those games you have to see to understand. It's a game about like subverting expectations and just like coming up with like the most ridiculous solutions to the puzzles and the genres that it subjects you to. Wow. So that is definitely a game I'm going to be picking up on the Switch because I was laughing out loud at a couple moments in the game when I've seen people like Markiplier play it.
Yeah, I want to. We should start getting some live streams in here for the QTB podcast, like on Twitch, because right now we are live on twitch.tv/quitthebuild. So that's the interesting thing, that you can check us out live. You can check out our edited podcast, which is what you're listening to right now, probably. So moving on.
So we've got this game looks freaking adorable, Bruno. It's called Kiwi, like spelled Keywe. And it's a game about two kiwi birds, whose names are Jeff and Deborah.
That was like somebody's parents' name. What should we name these? We can name them after the greatest parents to have ever lived. Good old Jeff and Deborah. Spatsnik. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're Russian.
Yeah, but this is a game about
Russian parents with the first names Jeff and Deborah. This is my name is Jeff. This is Deborah.
Jeff. I love it. But yeah, this is a game about Kiwis that are postal workers, and it plays and looks exactly as adorable as it sounds.
Yeah.
Kind of a co-op style game, so that'll be something fun to dive into. This game, Bruno, I gotta tell you, visually, I am so excited to try it. It's called Labyrinth City, Pierre, the Maze Detective.
Ooh,
really, that sounds like two different games, but okay. Which is, it basically looks like those Where's Waldo worlds that you look down, that you look from overhead and you see like all these ridiculous things it's very vibrant visually. And you're kind of moving through this world and navigating through all the mazes that are present. But it as far as like the visual influence, it wouldn't shock me if like Where's Waldo was like one of their biggest influences when they're making it.
Oh man. I gotta tell you, the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life was a guy on the internet. He made a video and he went to the local library. Well, I guess it wasn't the library. Maybe a library would work too. But he went and picked up a Where's Waldo book, brought it back to his house, scanned in one of the pages, and then Photoshop removed Waldo from all the pages and then stuck him back in there and took it back and realized, I don't want this book anymore. So now the next kid that gets this poor Where's Waldo book will literally, it's going to be The Longing. He's going to be like, there is no Waldo. That's the meta. He's going to learn about subverted expectations and that sometimes in life there is no prize, Timmy. Okay? Just learn that, Tim. Disappointment is your lesson today.
That might be one of the most unnecessarily and overly complicated ploys to just do something mean.
Right?
someone like, I can't believe that. Like, you're gonna have the whole family like, no, I'm serious, Dad. Like, there's no Waldo
There's
here.
no
It's like,
Waldo
oh,
here.
okay, son. And like, yeah, like before you know it, the whole family's like gathered around this book, like calling the publisher, like,
I can't believe it.
yeah, there's
Sure.
no Waldo in the land of Waldos.
There's no Waldo.
The land of Waldos, he just takes all the pictures out. It's just like a flat space.
Well, there was the other characters in Where's Waldo that you could find, like the wizard, and I'm sure there was like a girl and a dog. I think like didn't he have a dog at some point or. You know, everybody's asking where's Waldo, but nobody ever asks how's Waldo.
Exactly. And you wonder why he just goes missing for days at a time,
Exactly.
and tries
Mental
to
health
hide
is
in the crowd.
important. Exactly. We need to check up on your friends. So if they go disappearing like Waldo, don't ask where they are, ask how they are.
Exactly.
The more you know.
That would totally be the 2021 version of that book. How's Waldo?
How's
where you have
Waldo?
to explore Waldo's feelings.
It's in his mind.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, Bruno, this is an exciting one. You're talking about arcade games, and this is definitely a classic one. And this is probably for a lot of people, this was the highlight of the whole presentation. The House of the Dead is getting a remake on the Nintendo Switch.
What?
How about that?
Tell me more.
Yeah. So, of course, light gun shooters are kind of a foregone genre because, light gun peripherals stopped getting made for a very long time. Last I can think of was like in the PS2 era. There might have been one later than that. But the House of the Dead is, of course, a very popular, zombie shooting franchise that originated in the arcades, got some ports to different, consoles.
I remember it on Sega Dreamcast.
Heck yeah. I remember the typing of the Dead for Sega Dreamcast, where you had to take them out with the power of Mavis Beacon words.
The power of grammars and spelling.
Yeah.
Woo!
Exactly.
The 90s tried to make video games fun, and some of them succeeded and some of them didn't. And I gotta tell you, anything that had to do with typing like that, like the Mario game or House of the Dead, I'm all over that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this really surprises me, Bruno, because I never really thought about the Switch and the motion controls as something that would be good for like a rail shooter style game. But from what I'm seeing, it controls really well, and it really makes me wonder, like, why aren't more people porting Time Crisis? Hello.
Yeah, right.
What are you doing? Like,
exactly.
It would be the world's biggest softball to port like Time Crisis, like 1, 2, and 3 in like a collection.
And they're up to 4 now.
Well, yeah,
I
that
mean,
one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the Nintendo Switch is such a great console for something like this, and we can move into a different era of games. I don't think that producing AAA titles is 100% necessary for all these games, because this doesn't look like, it looks like, I don't know what the price is going to be on it, but I can't imagine it's going to be, a $60 game. Like, we're talking, maybe a $20-$30 game. Go for it. Like, get some more of these indie, style games out there. Just do them right, port them in. I think it's something that more people are going to be interested in the long run. And, we've already got things like MAME emulators and stuff like that for different Sega cabinets and all types of arcade cabinets. So this idea of bringing arcade games to something like the Switch or consoles in general, I think is a great idea. It looks amazing, and I can see why people are hyped about it, because the minute you see it, like in that opening, like, I don't know what it is, like courtyard area, that's like the classic House of the Dead, like, gotta get in there. And so I think we had our fill for zombies for a while. Like, everything was zombie. It was like Zombie Army and Zombie U and so many plants and zombies, and you're just like, okay, I've had enough of the zombies. Like, let's dial it back a little bit. And now I think that we've had some space, and so now they're reviving it. They're like, hey, zombies have always been cool. Let's just bring them back in the way that people actually want them. I mean, that's why I'm excited for something like this and something like what is it, Back 4 Blood? I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. Yeah,
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. But one another thing that's also cool, Bruno, of course, is our QTB community poll, which is I did my best there.
Man,
where if you vote and retweet, we will give you a shout out. And our question, and of course you can follow us there at on Twitter at handle quit the build. The question was, from this week's Indie World presentation, which new game are you most excited for? Now, I made a mistake here, Bruno. I should have said like new game that's being announced for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I put in Road 96, Ali Ali World, Oxenfree 2, and of course TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Oh yeah.
As you can probably imagine, in the biggest landslide we've had with these polls so far, out of 23 votes, over 78% of our voters stated that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the winner, surprising nobody.
Oh, yeah.
So
no, I mean, you can clearly look at that list and be like, yeah, that's our bread and butter right there. But I do want to say that Ali Ali World, if TMNT wasn't on the list, Ali Ali World would be my go-to for that. I've played the first one, I played the second one. It's a really, really fun game, and it's actually challenging. It's challenging in terms of a rail or platform, because it's not really rail, but you're grinding on rails. But a platformer skateboard game, because not only do you have to time your jumps, but you also have to time your tricks and your grinds as well. Right? Like when you ollie, you have to hit a certain button the minute you hit the like rail or whatever. It's not like, Tony Hawk, where you just hit Y and it, kind of magnetizes you to it. Like, you've got to time these and the landings. That's the other thing. You had to time landings in Ali Ali and Ali Ali 2. You had to time, like, whenever you'd land. Otherwise, you would just you'd roll over and die, I guess. And these games are notorious for the constant bails. Like, it's a very technical game to master, or just like land at all. Yeah, just land, just skateboard around, which is pretty much how it is in real life, right? Like, I'm not trying to do ollies out here. Did one once, fell on my butt, and I was like, that is enough for me. I'm just gonna sidewalk surf. Like, I don't need to do all that.
That's right. Well, Bruno, we still have one more story to get to here, and this is an interesting statistic. And I think, like we've been talking about, where Xbox has been kind of dominating the news cycle, there's still the little news stories that pop up about the PS5. They kind of remind you that, brand loyalty is still very much a thing. Yep. And, this is a pretty brief article, but I just wanted to touch on it from CNET, in that there's a group called the NPD Group that kind of analyzes, sales trends and that kind of thing. And one of the guys there, named Matt Piscatella, tweeted some interesting information about consumer video game spending that was very eye-opening, I think. Specifically, the news that kind of is relevant to our podcast is that PlayStation 5 ranked as the second best-selling hardware platform in February of this year in both unit and dollar sales. And here's the big one. PlayStation 5 is currently the fastest-selling hardware platform in U.S. history. Okay.
Wow.
This was news that broke back in March, and that trend has continued into April and beyond. And it's one of those stories where that pretty much is the story. Like,
that's it.
And what's crazy to me, Bruno, is you think about the chip the semiconductor chip shortage that we're having right now, that's causing a lot of these consoles to not be able to be produced at full capacity. And you have to wonder, like, if they were able to go full tilt boogie and actually create like every console that they wanted to try and keep up with demand, they would have probably absolutely dominated the sales numbers, especially when you have things like stimulus money coming in.
Oh yeah.
To most, at least in the United States, where like people are going to be like looking to kind of put a little of that aside for something nice, right?
Yeah, right. I'm definitely surprised to see something like that, especially amidst the fact that it's been so hard to get a hold of these next gen consoles. So I wonder, I just wonder how these numbers in sales, like, how they break down. Like, I'd love to see the breakdown of what, are they talking about, specific stores, or is this overall in terms of how, the resale value on these? Because we're still entering that right now, right? Like if you're trying to grab a PS5, you're probably going to spend upwards of $1,000, maybe even $2,000 for PS5 if you get one on something like eBay. I am signed up for alerts to find out when they actually go on sale through a little plugin called OctoShop for Google Chrome. And I just got word today that Walmart had Xboxes on sale, which was really nice. But typically it's a notification from Newegg, and it says, oh yeah, we've got which is basically somebody reselling the console that they've bought it. And Newegg has it for like $979. Yeah. So it's twice what it's actually, what it actually costs right now. And like I said, we're still in such an early life cycle for these next gen consoles. Listen, if you're out there and you're kind of bummed that you don't have a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, by all means, like I feel for you, but don't get too upset. Like there really isn't much out there for either console right now, and that's taking it from somebody who has had every PlayStation and Xbox console and definitely wants to get at least the new Xbox Series X. So I would be totally into getting it too. But honestly, if you were to ask me, Nick, like what's the best value right now, in terms of like what games are out, if I'm going to go for a Nintendo Switch or try and hold off for Xbox Series X or, PlayStation 5, I'd tell somebody to go for the Nintendo Switch. Like if you're trying to go for the elusive console out there, of course Nintendo Switch is going to be the home run for that, because they're still producing a lot of games for it. So despite the fact that it's hard to get, it's still a great console, whereas if somebody was out there and they were like, oh, I want to get an Xbox One or Xbox One X, I'd be like, no, you need to wait at least until Xbox Series X can come out, or Xbox Series X. Same thing with PlayStation, whereas I feel like there's still value in Nintendo Switch, and we'll learn more, I think, in E3 to decide whether or not they're going to come out with like a Super Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever it may be, as to, if this life cycle is going to continue. But I've got to say, in terms of like scarcity of console, the Nintendo Switch for its entire lifespan has been hard to get. And that's saying something. So despite these like initial spikes for the PlayStation 5 or even Xbox Series X, like I've never seen a console that's been out for how long? Like a couple years now, right? Like
it's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
At least 4 years, I think it's been out. And now it's still just as hard to get now as it was the day it came out.
Yeah, that is saying something, but yeah, you're right. Like this is a once in a lifetime, pandemic that we're in or coming out of. And that messes with things. Like I said, the semiconductor chip shortage, but that statistic, Bruno, for the PS5, it's not only the overall total dollar sales after 4 months in the market, it's also the per unit sales. So no matter how you slice it, the PlayStation 5, like we've been saying, the brand loyalty, but I don't know if it's brand loyalty, because I think that scalpers are also playing a role in both right? Because if I like you said with Newegg, if I buy a console and then flip it, right? Yeah. That's going to count as an immediate sale. Obviously what I'm flipping it for shouldn't be counted as a sale, but that's the aftermarket. But time will tell. It's just an interesting story I think to hop into, as just a reminder, like, hey, people are still snapping these things up, and I think there's so many people that really are waiting for have faith in Sony to deliver those AAA blockbusters that they are famous for being the centerpiece of their strategies. So, well, Bruno, we have got a nice bonus round here for you. I had the pleasure of meeting someone on Twitch by the name of Loxxulus, who introduced me to his game ChessLocke, and I had an interview with him. Let's take a listen now. There we go. I don't know why it is. I can't get that last thing out. I have to do a second take. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by. I don't know who's still here, but Vic's open.
Rex. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, Mr. Davy Boy. I think I saw Bry guy, or Mr. Big Bry. That's his name. Yep.
Big Bry.
Dudist Monk. Night Strider. I only put that Eminem's Racer in there because Terry
I saw him put it in the chat.
Terry made a comment about it. So
I saw that.
yeah. All right, let's hop right back in.
All right, it is 2:15 p.m. Thank you so much for hanging in there. And what a great interview that was, Nick. I tell you, I'm so glad that you're the one giving the interviews and not me, because we would go off on a tangent and we would just be like, what were we talking about? What's your game again? But ChessLocke sounds absolutely amazing. First of all, I give respect to anybody that is a one-man band out there that's just, going to town, doing it, and, all-encompassing everything that involves, from ground up that comes with the game. Kudos to you, dude. Like that's some mad props right there. And second of all, Nick, chess is coming back hard, bro. Okay.
Sure.
Like with Queen's Gambit, and now there's, ChessLocke, and I've heard of 5D chess that is supposed to be like looking at the future of like all these.
How many Ds are we going to add to chess?
I don't know. Until that's what she said, right?
Hello.
But it's just really neat to see somebody actually do something kind of, I don't want to say reinvent the wheel, but spice it up a little bit, make it a little bit more aerodynamic, right? Why not? I think there's tons of room for that in the video game world. We get so focused on as content creators to be the first to do something, or to do something so crazy that no one else could possibly think of, like Tentacle Typer, right? Like no one's gonna think up Tentacle Typer. Like you've got the
real wacky.
You've cornered the market, my bro. But something like this is, I can see more companies doing something along the lines of adding RPG elements to different games. And I think there's something to be said for looking at old games, whether they be board games like Grape Escape, or
of course your favorite,
or Crossfire, or anything like that, and saying, how can we take this and bring it into the modern world and like make it fun? Like how can we hit this out of the park? And I think that's what ChessLocke is, right? I think that's where we're going with this type of game. So I'm very interested. And what a great interview. So thank you for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good to talk to him. Like I said, I had the pleasure of meeting him actually on Twitch and watching him stream Outriders, and that's how I learned about his game ChessLocke. And before you know, we were having a conversation of like, let's get you on the show. And so it just kind of worked out. And so definitely check that out. The link to his Steam page, you can buy that game now. Will be in the description there in our show notes. And of course, as always, special thanks to our sponsor, podthreads.com. Show your love of the podcast Audio Revolution with eye-catching t-shirt designs and more. Use promo code QTB at checkout for 15% off your order. Only 100 codes available now until April 28th, so do act fast. And of course, Bruno, we got to give a special thanks to our Patreon supporters, such as Nick, Epicapture Productions, and the Dudist Monk. If you would like a shout out at the end of each and every episode, plus bonus content like our QTB Nostalgia Vault episodes and even exclusive merch you can't get anywhere else, support us today at patreon.com/quitthebill. Thank you to each and every one of you who do support us. It means the world to us, and you do get some really cool bonus content there in exchange for it. So thanks for your consideration. And Bruno, what do you got for him, man?
The only thing I think we forgot was to give shout outs to the people who retweeted our poll.
It's incredible. I got all the way through that. Good catch. We got to give our shout outs. That's right. So for our retweets, Decent Takes, Pierce Unlimited, Glaza. It is pronounced Glyza. We did get a confirmation on that. Vix Open, Good Game Guys podcast. Vix Open, congratulations on getting Twitch affiliate, by the way.
Nice.
And the Let's Get Gaming podcast, of course, and Extreme Blast with no E, just Extreme. That's how you spell it. So thanks so much for giving us a retweet and voting in our poll. Well, there you go, Bruno.
That is the only time I've ever had something else for you, because most of the time you knock it out of the park and we're like, nope, I got nothing for you. Well, if you want to follow us, be sure to check out quitthebuild.com, and you can go to quitthebuild.com/community. And from there, you can find all sorts of links to all of our different socials. We're on the TikTok. We've got YouTube clips and videos. And you can also check out these live Twitch videos on YouTube as well, or on twitch.tv/quitthebuild. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have a Discord. I mean, where aren't we, right? And
real question.
I'm thankful that we've got such a great community out there that really has helped and supported us grow. We really do appreciate that. Be sure to give those socials a follow, and share them with your friends. It really does help, and it means a lot to us. If you like what you heard today, be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, because you could be entered to win an amazing giveaway from Pierce Unlimited. So,
buddy.
Without further ado, for Nick, I'm Bruno.
And for Bruno, I'm Nick.
Peace out. What it do?
Alrighty. I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, I completely skipped right over that. People are going to be like, where's my shout out? Where's that shout out at? What are you doing? All right.
Okay, let's do export.
Appreciate it there, Terry. Appreciate it.
Yes, I think we should be good with our average. We averaged
definitely
3, so we should be good.
We should be getting an affiliate there with the end of the stream. Yeah, thanks Rex for hanging out with us. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks so much.
See this episode very soon.
We're gonna have get some emotes in there. I think we get emotes with affiliate status, right?
Oh, definitely. You get a ton of emote slots now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're just like we're giving. They used to be all secretive about it. Now they're like, here you go.
Yeah.
You can have extra guac, no charge.
Oh, buddy. All right, everybody. Well, we gotta get to the post production here, so we're gonna peace on out. But thanks so much for stopping by the stream, and we will see you right soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.